So, ladies and gentlemen, once again, we are here with DPM, Deputy Prime Minister Gan Kim Yong, our biggest shot so far on our channel. And we are very blessed to have you here.
Very happy to be here.
Yeah, so today we'll continue with the interview and more importantly, to take a look at things that will happen to our families 10 years from now. And more importantly, the question everyone to know, DPM, you buy what stock? Yeah, must let us know, okay?
At the end of the program.
At the end of this show, yeah, okay. So, DPM, I think a big theme that you have impressed upon all of us is to make sure all of us who are senior better get ourselves trained, retrain whatsoever, and take it seriously. And to be frank, most of us are trying to do that as much as we can, different degree of receptivity. But one thing we realize is that the Skills Futures is a wonderful program that is rolled out by government to help us do that. But it's only one gopa call $500 credit. One course habis already. Then there's a $4,000 credit which you only can use for diploma or degree courses. So go for one course, finish. There's so many things to learn. We got ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, Open Claude, and so many things to learn. Agentic AI, and all this. So what are the government programs that can help us to prepare ourselves, or do we have to pay ourselves to learn all these things? Very expensive, right?
Understand. It's a good question because we have to change our mindset. First, let me talk about lifelong learning.
Yes.
Last time we talked about lifelong learning. So every now and then you go back to attend a course, whether it's a software development course or coding course, and then you come back and continue to work. In today's world, lifelong learning means actually you continuously learn. You constantly learn. And even when you're working, you learn. When you are out of job, you learn.
Every day of our life.
Every day of your life.
Yeah,
That's
not just
really,
a course.
Correct. So learning becomes part of life. As I mentioned earlier, 活着就是学习，学习就是活着。
Wow.
To learn is to live is to learn. So you need to continuously learn, acquire new knowledge. Even on the job, you can learn from your peers, from your colleagues, and how do you do this? And this way, you learn and acquire new skills and knowledge and continuously become better and better. So I think it's important for us to have that concept. Secondly, there will be ample opportunities for training and upgrading. The skill future upgrade that you talk about, $4,000, is also meant for that purpose. It's also important for us to be quite selective and quite focused on what kind of training I want to spend money on. The learning that you do in your company, with your peers and so on, that's easier, that's everyday life. But when you want to go for a course, you have to be quite selective because there are many courses and training programs around all over Singapore. And if you just simply spend your money, every course I want to take, I think it's not going to be productive. You need to be focused. Think courses that will give you new knowledge and skills. Those are important. And that's why, coupled with this training program, we are also rolling out stronger career guidance and support so that you sit down with a career coach, he will talk to you and determine what kind of a training you really need, and so that they can tailor-make the training program for you. So you go for specific training that will help you and benefit you. I think that is very important rather than shooting blindly. Yeah. So anyhow, go for training, come back, you're back to square one. So you're not benefiting from it. And it's also because of that reason, we also encourage people to really take responsibility for themselves. This is my training, it's about my career, it's about my future, and not just leave it to the course of nature. Right? So you need to take responsibility, and it's therefore important for you to work with a career coach, to work with a career counselor, to work out your training pathway. Many companies today, we are also encouraging them to set up company training committees to work out what are the training program your workers will need. Many companies today are very happy to support and sponsor their workers' training because they know in the end, if my workers are more productive, it benefits me. So I think you want to create that healthy dynamics between the employers, the workers, and the training providers. So it's very efficient, very selective, very targeted, and therefore this will be the most efficient way of rolling out our training program, rather than a free-for-all, everybody go for training and I don't know what you're training for. And that's why this Skills Future Upgrade is a very targeted program. We have specific approved programs that you can go. And if you really need help, from the training costs and so on. Talk to the unions. Unions have a lot of programs to support you. Talk to the training providers. They may also have support programs that can help you. Or talk to your company to say, can you sponsor me? I will be a better worker after this training. So I think there are many avenues to do that. So don't worry about the cost of training. And of course, the government is constantly reviewing the program. If need be, we will provide more support and more resources to fund this training. Particularly for AI, for example, we roll out a lot of programs. I think we set up something like $400 million for workers upgrading program. And all these will be able to support the training for AI as well as many other useful and productive programs.
I see. So $400 million to train Singapore workers to AI adoption.
And many other programs as well.
Wonderful. Okay, wonderful. So DPM, now we're going to dovetail to another thing that everybody is very concerned about, which is retirement adequacy, financial adequacy for retirement. After all, we are very finance focused and retirement focused, CPF focused channel. What our community is very concerned with is that with the backdrop of a increased longevity, which is a good thing, right?
Of course.
Yeah, we're all living longer. My dad is 88 years old, still super healthy. I think he's going to be able to live to 100. And the increase in longevity also brings about another problem. Is our money enough? And the other thing is that our institutions that set up those CPF, SRS and equivalent, those systems were set up many years ago. Now people are getting worried right now, that they may not have enough money, to meet all this challenge. Plus the fact that now we have got an inflation problem. We're hit with a very bad inflation, 2021, 2022, when the central banks all printed money. And recently, our dear President Donald Trump went to start a war, and that spiked up a lot of prices. While inflation seems to be a norm right now. So again, what are some of the things that the government could do to help us? And to be frank, also we want to help ourselves. But where could be some of the channels that you can help us?
So I think since it's a CPF channel, I should talk a little bit about CPF.
Yes.
And CPF is a very good scheme. I think not many countries in the world has a scheme like ours. And many countries have a pension scheme, but pension depends on the resources of the government. And the government doesn't manage their fiscal policies properly. I think they will be running out of cash in time to come. And many countries also depend on future generations, their tax that they pay to be able to fund these pension funds. So I think it is also very important for us to bear in mind that Singapore is a very small country. And we also have an aging population, as you said, and our fertility rate is not high. And I won't go there today, but it's a problem for us. And we cannot depend on future generation of Singaporeans to fund our own retirement. We have to make sure that the scheme is a self-funded one. So every one of us take responsibility to fund our own retirement needs. That means we need to save more. I think CPF is a good saving scheme to be able to help Singaporeans to save sufficiently for your retirement. But at the same time, we also know that not everyone can save enough, and that not everyone will live long enough, and some will live longer, which will need a lot more. Some may not live that long, and which will need less. And that's why we have a CPF Life that is a risk-pooling scheme, that everybody come together and support one another in this scheme. This is what we call 拉长补短. So this is
I never thought risk, of CPF Life as 拉长补短.
Right? Yeah, this is basically a risk pooling concept, right? So if you're able to risk pool, then all of us need to save a little bit less so that we can tap on one another's resources. So I think that's the concept of CPF Life. It's a very good scheme. I would encourage you to focus on that, and you do as much as you can with CPF. And beyond CPF, some may want to say, I want to earn a little bit more. Then you can think about investment and how you invest. Investment advisors are well equipped to tell you. I really, as I said, at the end I will tell you my own tips, what we do. But it's important to remember, you either have to save more or you need to spend less if you are living longer, right? So I think there's no magic to it. So CPF Life is trying to bridge the gap and to bring everybody together. But it's important for us to do retirement planning early. And that has been a problem, I think, globally. And you think about retirement when you're about to retire. I think if you're looking at it, it's too late.
Too late.
So start early. And CPF, in a way, is a scheme to allow you to do so earlier. The day you start working, you start to contribute to CPF. We also recognize that there will be some among us who are low income and they will not be able to save enough. And that's why we have top-ups from time to time by the government. We have workfare scheme to support working lower income workers to top up their CPF for them to make sure that by the time they retire, they have enough. So I think these are schemes that government will do. And for those that never had a high income during his life, we also have this civil support scheme to be able to help them when they retire, to give them sum of money to help support their retirement days. So I think these are the things that we try to do. But the scheme also need to continue to evolve and change.
Yes.
As you said, we live longer and longer.
Yes.
Our demographics are changing. Our life pattern is changing. So we need to continue to evolve the scheme to be able to catch up with time, to continue to be relevant to the young old. And by the time when they grow old and they retire, the scheme must remain relevant to them. So I think this is what we've been doing in the government.
Wonderful. So remember, CPF Life, DPM is emphasizing CPF Life is very important because I've been telling everybody about CPF Life, okay, and please continue to focus on your CPF Life, build it up as high as possible so that we have longevity protection.
That's
okay.
right.
So DPM, we now face a very serious problem that Singaporeans don't want to have babies or don't want to have too many babies. Now, I will just say this, I always believe that children are a gift from God. It's a wonderful thing to have children. So I've got 3 and I brainwash my kids.
Good for you.
I brainwash my kids all the way from young, each of them must have 3. So, but unfortunately, this is not the norm and we're going to have a very serious, we already have a very serious falling fertility rate and potentially even more serious. And this is going to face a big challenge for our economy. And of course, the other option of absorbing more foreigners and naturalize them as Singaporeans has some social impact. Okay, let's use a more neutral term. So what are things that the government can do, and we've probably talked about this for many years already, but it doesn't seem to work, right? What are things the government can do really to help? It's a cost issue, a culture issue, or whatever, right? It's clearly a global problem as well. Yeah. So what do you think is the out-of-box way that we can help?
Well, we continue to try. As I mentioned during the budget, we cannot give up, we must not give up, and we haven't given up. So we need to continue to push and to encourage and to make it easier for people to have children and babies. But it is a very complex problem. There's no single issue, it's not a single issue problem, and there's therefore no single solution can solve the issue. So I think it's important for us to take a holistic approach. We try to understand what are the various challenges of having babies and to address them systematically. And in fact, we said that during the budget that we actually need a total reset of our mindset.
Total reset of mindset.
That's right. Yeah. Because it's not just a family problem, it's not just an individual problem. At a higher level, it's a national problem. Because if our population, Singaporean population is shrinking, over time, I think we'll become smaller and smaller and smaller. I gave an illustration in Parliament, I think shocking to many people to realize that the effect of this fertility rate that we are seeing. I think therefore we need to take a whole of nation approach. Everybody in the country needs to do our part to help individuals to have babies, to make it easier for them. So it's not just the parents' job, it's not just the married couple's job, it's not just your children's job to have children. I think they need help and support from all of us.
Yeah.
Whether it's, for example, the employers need to be more supportive of their employees giving birth, their employees' needs to support their children when they are young. So I think we are working with the employers to see what are the initiatives that we can roll out to support our children, our workers to have more babies. And I think we are also working with various social organizations, community organizations to provide greater community support for young children. So I think it's important for us to work together. And we're also hoping to encourage our parents to also play a role in their children's marriage and procreation and family. And that's why you are saying that, you tell your children three. From
3 each.
From young, and that's very important. You're doing your part, your role, but everyone has a different way. So I think it's important for us to have this national conversation. That's why we set up a working group to look into this, involving engaging very widely, different aspects, different walks of life, people from different walks of life, to get their views and ideas and see how we can take a whole of nation approach to address this problem. And really, we are not really specifically targeting at boosting the TFR. I think that's the result. I think what we are trying to do is to make it easier and make it more pleasant to have children and make it more enjoyable to have children. Really, when you have a baby, it's a time for celebration. It's not really, once you have a baby, I got so much problem. And then I think it will be very negative and people will not think about having babies. We should really find a way to celebrate with those who have children and say this is a time of joy, therefore we should celebrate together as a nation. So whole our nation must come together to celebrate and to support family making and parenting. So I think this is something that is very important for us to understand, that we need a total reset so that we can come together and have a whole of nation effort to support and help young parents in bringing up their children throughout the entire journey of bringing up their children. It's not just at childbirth. So I think the whole journey is, we hope to be able to make it more pleasant, more enjoyable, and more celebratory, rather than just worry about troubles and problems and challenges. Right. So I think it's a multifaceted issue, and we need all hands on deck, whole of nation coming together to address this problem as a nation.
Well, this is a very big mindset change, because most parents look at children as burden, right? Whether financial or emotional or whatever. But to now change a mindset to celebrate and to make parenting fun, enjoyable, I think,
and fulfilling.
And fulfilling. That, to be frank, it is.
It is.
It is. Yeah. But we focus too much on the how to support, how to fund their milk powder, tuition,
enrichment.
Yeah, I think that's a very interesting approach, and I hope that this would put our young parents to start, and all of us who have children, we need to start telling them that bringing up children is a wonderful process. So DPM, you're now, taking a very serious role as the DPM, and there are so many things that are happening across the world, so many challenges that Singapore faces. I'm sure you're always thinking about the future, what are things that are coming, and our Singapore government has always been one that really takes on a very long time horizon. What are the things that keep you awake at night? Those scary things that can come, those challenges that can come in 10 years, 15, 20, even longer than that. What are the top 2 or 3 things that keep you awake at night?
Thanks. I must admit that I don't have a crystal ball, but I do see a few important trends that are worrying, and they are going to change the landscape altogether. First, I think on the economic side, the world is changing very rapidly. As you know, last few years, now tariff is the norm, protectionism is the norm, and in the past, cooperation and collaboration among countries is the norm. But now competition and protection has become more important. People are focusing on national security, economic security. It's more inward looking. So I think this is a trend that's very worrying, not just for Singapore, it's for the rest of the world too. I think we are heading to a more challenging, more volatile, more turbulent era ahead of us. And therefore, Singapore needs to reposition ourselves, make sure that we are able to remain relevant and competitive for many more years to come. And that's why we have this economic strategy review that's just been done.
ESR.
I think the ESR. I think we'll release the full report shortly. But the idea of the ESR is really to see how we can reposition our economy so that we can offer value that others cannot, that we can have value-added services and activities. It's not so easy for other people to copy and replicate. Because your efficiency, others can also be efficient. Right? Your connectivity, others can also have connectivity, have a lot of ports and so on. They can invest and they can build. But the ability to bring all these together, the ability to change and move very quickly is something that not everybody can do. And therefore, being nimble, being able to move fast is our strength. We always say we are small and therefore this is our weakness. But being small allow us to move fast, agile. And that is very important competitive factor. But at the same time, in order for us to do well globally, we need to focus on developing and deepening the element of trust. And given this volatility and this uncertainty around the world, trust now commands a premium. And people want to invest in places they can trust. They want to do business with partners they can trust. They want to have a collaboration with countries that they can trust. So I think trust is not so easy to copy. It is developed over the years and it is strengthened and deepened in crisis. And therefore people see how you behave and they begin to trust you more and they begin to put more in you. So I think that is important for us to focus on building trust-based economy. So I think that's something that we've been working on. I think we have a strong start because over the years you have seen that Singapore has always been a trusted partner for many of our trading partners and economic partners, and they know, so they trust us. Whether it's during COVID-19, during crisis,
the oil crisis,
correct, we have been seen to be trusted, and we continue to supply. We don't block our exports and just support everything for ourselves. We honor our contracts. We are rules-based. When we say yes, it's yes. When we say 1 is 1, 2 is 2. So we deliver what we say on target. So I think this is something that Singapore has been seen to be reliable and trusted, and we must double down on that. And that is not easy for others to replicate. If you tell people that, please trust me, that already is a bad starting point, right? That means you need to persuade people to trust you. I think that is going to be a problem. Whereas we start by saying that, look, you see what we have done, you know us, and therefore you can trust us. So I think that's an important competitive advantage that we need to continue to strengthen. But beyond economy, what I'm even more worried about is how to, on the same topic, how to strengthen trust within Singapore. Trust among Singaporeans, we trust one another. Trust between the government and the people. Trust between the older generation and the younger generation. And trust between different segments, different walks of life, that we trust one another. We can go through crisis together. I think COVID-19 was a very good example and a good experience. Of course, we hope we never have to repeat that. But I think it makes a difference whether we trust one another. And in terms of, say, for example, safe distancing, it failed in many other countries because people don't trust one another. You say, if I keep my distance while others are mingling around, why should I do so? But we take it very seriously. We enforce it. We fine people, we put people to jail because they don't observe the safe distancing rule. And this is something that I think we build trust. And it is the trust that will allow us to succeed in a crisis. And therefore, I think this is something that always keeps me awake. How can I strengthen the trust among Singaporeans, between the government and the people, between people from different walks of life, seniors versus younger generation, between those high income and the low income, how to make sure that they know that each other depends on one another. And we can only succeed if we work together as one people. I think that is going to be the challenge since the beginning and for many more decades to come. And that will be one key challenge that we need to focus on, how to build trust among Singaporeans.
So evolving ourselves into a trust-based economy.
And a trust-based society.
A trust-based society.
That is what the Prime Minister Lawrence Wong talked about, the we first society.
We first society.
It's not about we first, you later. It's we first, I later. It's more important to look at the collective benefit, the collective interest, more than the self-interest. So it's a we first society, and it's a trust-based society and a trust-based economy.
Excellent. Yeah. Excellent. So I think we all focus on, maybe by looking at all those things that are happening, we're very, very frightened, but we do have some strength as a country.
Right. That's right.
And this is a huge strength. We're a trust-based economy. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
So DPM, first of all those things that given us some insights too, they are extremely important. But everybody is still waiting for the most important question. What's your investment advice for all of us? What do you invest in? You know, yeah. Can we pick
Get some tips.
Get some tips from you, now?
Thank you.
Okay.
So let me say that I've only one stock I invest in, and that's called
DBS.
Singapore.
Oh.
Yeah. Always invest in Singapore, invest in Singaporeans, because that's our most valuable asset and the asset that has the highest potential. So I would invest in Singapore and invest in Singaporeans. I'm not an investment advisor. Sure. I don't have a license to give specific advice. I think you can talk to your financial advisors, but I think it will not go wrong if you invest in Singapore, invest in Singaporeans' future. I think that will give you the greatest return.
Okay, it's good. Thank you, DPM. We are very happy that you provide us a lot of very good insight, and certainly the things that you say we'll take it and digest it, and we'll try to relate it to our own lives. All the things you said certainly give us a guide to what we should do. Right? Thank you again for coming to our channel. It's such a great honor. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Privilege is all mine. Thank you so much.
Any parting message for our audience?
Thank you. Important to stay healthy, stay active, and don't be afraid. We are with you every step of the way.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you again. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.